Hi, and welcome to my channel, Laura's Library Card. So today I am in a different setting. I am outside and I am at Niagara Falls, actually. We're in Canada and we're staying at a beautiful Airbnb, and we're only going to be here for another day or two, but I took the whole week off of work because I deserved a vacation. So just now realized my camera is a little crooked, but that's okay. So let me tell you. Let me tell you what's going on so far. I have started this morning. I have started The Prospects, finally, by Katie Hoffman. I've been talking about this for weeks. I've had it checked out for weeks, and I finally am getting around to actually physically starting the book. And yeah, right at this exact moment, I think I'm only at like 7%, and we've really only gotten the first like 2 chapters, and I'm enjoying it. I'm wondering if this is going to be a dual point of view story, because I love it when it's dual point of view, but I sort of have a feeling that we're just going to follow our main character of Jean, and that'll be it. And also, I am interested to see how much baseball is really in this book, because, like, yes, our main two characters are both going to be like baseball stars, and it's the start of the baseball season at the start of this book. But I also am not sure how, and like they play in minor league baseball, so I am interested to see how much baseball is going to be in this book, because I think that could go either way, honestly. But yeah, I don't have much to say yet about that, but I am glad to finally be reading that. And the card that I'm going to be using for this book is the Ace of something, the one I drew recently. I'll put a picture here, but it's to read a debut novel, and that is The Prospects, is the author's debut novel. So anywho, that's my update for the start of Monday morning, and I'll see you in a hot second. Hi. Okay, so it is Monday evening. I just wanted to take a video out here by the pool, because I've been sitting and working on my book, and yeah, I haven't really made much progress today, just because we were out and about. We went to the Niagara Falls and took pictures and walked around and people watched. Quite an interesting group of people. Got all misty, had a fun time, and yeah, then we kind of came back to our Airbnb and hung out together, and we went swimming, hot tub, whole 9 yards. It was very fun and relaxing time on vacation. That's the point, right? Had a tasty dinner, and now it's late, so I haven't really had a ton of time to read today. Just trying to relax and take things easy, but just wanted to film here and enjoy our last night at our Airbnb. But I will give you another update with The Prospects pretty soon. Hello. Today is Wednesday, and I'm home. You probably can tell from the dark background. I wanted to give you an update. I didn't actually end up filming anything yesterday because it was kind of a long, busy day, and I barely read anything. I think I read for maybe 20 minutes early in the morning, maybe 15 pages in The Prospects. So I'm not really any significantly further than I talked to you before. I think I'm at like 12%, something like that. And the story is still starting. I have no update. But yesterday was Tuesday, and it was our day to check out of our Airbnb in Canada, and we took a long drive home and drove home to Ohio. Did kind of break things up a little bit by managing to stop and see some family along the way, and that was very nice. It was good to visit with them, and then got home kind of late, and I was glad to be home and be able to sleep in my own bed. So I really didn't get that much more reading done yesterday. But even though I am now home and no longer traveling, my vacation is only halfway done, because I have the rest of this week off from work. So I am very pleased. I have some things to do just around the house, laundry and we were just traveling and that kind of thing. So I have some little projects like that. I have some craft projects I want to get to, and I have like personal projects, reading projects I want to get to as well. So my update for today, Wednesday, it is sort of mid-afternoon, 4:03, and I just wanted to give you an update because I haven't really read anything yet today either. I instead today watched a movie. I don't believe I've ever seen this. If I have, it was so long ago it doesn't matter, or it was only like a little bits and pieces. But I watched Fried Green Tomatoes, the movie with Kathy Bates that came out like in 1991 or something like that. And that is because the novel that inspired that book, or the book that inspired the movie, was the book that is for my book club tonight, my book club with my old people. And I didn't really want to read the book, / also had just kind of like spaced it, and I didn't want to read it. I thought about it while I was on vacation, and I was just kind of like, you know what? No, thank you. So I didn't even open it. And so today is when book club is. It's in another like hour or so. And I thought to myself, okay, well, I can either just show up and say, I did nothing, or I could at least watch the movie. So I watched the movie, and I'm hopeful that that is like a relatively faithful adaptation. I was going to do a little bit of searching on the internet to find out, maybe go and read some of the book reviews and see what people had to say about it. But that's all the prep that I have done for this book club, and I mostly don't feel at all guilty about it because there's been plenty of times when other people haven't read either. So that was a choice of self-care on my part. So yeah, that's a Wednesday update for you. And I would like to use the next couple of days, other than book club today. I think I have literally nothing planned for the next couple of days. And also there might be a Dewey's 24-hour readathon happening this weekend. I need to look a little bit further into that, but that would be really nice. I just plan to chill and relax and work on projects and read a whole lot. So hopefully you will have better reading updates from me going forward. I just wanted to tell you what's been going on in my life, and then I'm back home, and I am, I have plans in the works. Hello, good morning. It is Thursday morning, and I finally have a reading update for you. So last night before bed, I read probably for an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour, and I made it to about 35% of the way into The Prospects by K.T. Hoffman. And I'm liking it. There definitely was, there's a lot of baseball. Baseball is very much so centric to this book. I think that you will have, I don't really care that much about baseball. Like, if out of all the sports that I would potentially be interested in, baseball is probably the top one, but I don't know a ton about baseball. I like to just go and have popcorn and like hang out mostly. But I do like how much baseball is centered in this book, because I feel like there are definitely sports romances that I've read where it's a sports romance and the sport is hardly in the book. So this one definitely is. Baseball is Gene's passion, and it is something that Gene cares a lot about. So it's his job too. So it's like on page a lot. I felt like there was a lot at this point in the book at 35%, like Louise and Gene are starting to actually have conversations and sort of be friends and start to kind of not be at odds for whatever reason. And I will say the first like chunk of this, where it's like all baseball and it's all of them doing poorly and it's all Louise and Gene like not talking and Gene just being annoyed and mad, I was kind of not enjoying the book very much. Like, it was fine. I was like, when are we going to get there? When are we going to get to better times, And so I feel like we have started to get to those better times. And there was just a comment that was made to Louise. This is like a romance, so I don't feel like this is a spoiler. Louise kind of questions Gene and says, well, if I was kind of gay, like, is that something we could talk about at some point? And so I will say, when that happened in the book, I was like, ooh, like it was it's starting to like pick up, and it's holding my interest. I like Gene as a main character. I feel like he's really relatable in a, I mean, like I don't think that I have ADHD, but I think that ADHD is a spectrum of um symptoms or like behaviors and traits, and I feel like I have some of those but not enough to like have a diagnosis. And so I feel like there's certain elements of Jean's personality that are relatable to me, or at least endearing. And so I like Jean as main male character, and I'm not really sure yet about Luis. I feel like he has promise, but I don't fully get why Jean is so into Luis. And I think part of that is because that Jean, I think, was kind of into Luis like years ago when they knew each other in college, and we have not gotten a chance to see any of that on page. And so it feels almost a little bit like this is like a sort of a second chance. It has second chance vibes, even though they weren't together previously. It feels like Jean had a thing for Luis years ago and never was willing to acknowledge that or whatever. And like it feels like there's history between these characters, and like that is supposed to be easing the path forward and helping them reconnect. And yet for the reader, not having seen that past, you're just kind of like going on what's happening now. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I also think it's really freaking, it must be really long. I don't remember what the page count is off the top of my head. I'm reading this as an ebook, so I'm just, tapping the next page on the Kindle. But I was kind of surprised to feel like I'd been reading for a long time. And then I clicked the button and it was like, you're at 35%. And I was like, really? I was hoping I was close to 50%. So we shall see. I think I'm interested to see where this is going to keep going. I hope that they start winning. I hope that they start dating. I hope that there's some sexy times. I don't even know how closed or open door this is, but that's my update for now. And now that I'm up and about and have kind of gotten my day started, I am going to continue working on the prospects. And I think Ben is going to be getting up here shortly, and we talked about hanging out and doing stuff. So I will keep you posted and see you in a minute. Hello. I had a productive Friday. I was doing a lot of stuff. I wasn't reading. On Friday, I had a chance to sleep in a little bit and then kind of putzed around, hung out with my husband Ben for a bit. And most of what I functioned to like get productively done yesterday was working on my reading journal. I have been behind for a long time, and I would like to be a little bit more on top of things. So I'm trying to use this vacation time to play catch up. So I made a big chunk of progress, and it felt really good to do that. But I was not reading. I changed that around a little bit right before bed. I did pick up and make a little bit more progress into The Prospects by K.T. Hoffman. I think I closed my Kindle at like 66% or something right there. So I'm not going to give you very much plot, but our two main characters have continued to fall for each other and work toward being together. I don't know that it's really, there hasn't been like a big drawn out conversation about what they are or anything like that. But yeah, they have been spending time together and trying to figure out if how they feel, essentially. I mean, I will say that like our main character primarily is Gene. Like more of the book is from his perspective, and he has been head over heels for Luis for like a really long time. Even though he spends the first good chunk of the book being like, "Oh, that Luis," like it's clear to me that he has had lingering feelings, and I think had feelings from college. And I don't know. I really think that they're cute together, but I'm also like underwhelmed. I feel like I feel like I haven't seen very many scenes where the two of them are like getting to know each other. I don't know. I'm just kind of like underwhelmed with this book. I think it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But also I'm just kind of like, all right, like let's go. I said to Ben last night that every time I read for a chunk, I look down to see what I check to see what the percentage is, and it always is way less than I think. I don't know if this book is just like extra long. I don't know why, but I feel like I read for a long time and I make very little progress. And so it's not a slog in that I'm like, oh, I'm hating this, but also I'm like not sitting there frantically turning pages. So yeah, I don't know. I think our main characters are fine. I think the romance is okay. I just am kind of like, maybe it's that I don't care so much for baseball. Maybe it's that I just don't feel like maybe I just don't feel like there's good stakes here. And I think that's partly because Gene himself like doesn't put himself in a position where he really like wants things or really wants things to happen for him. Like he's just like, well, I'm gonna take things as they come. So I don't know. I'm going to finish it. I'm not hating it by any means. It's just for me very solid, like 2.53. And like I don't think that a 2.5 is bad. That is very average. So I don't know what it is about it that is just making me like kind of uninterested, but I'm just like waddling along, I guess. So there's your update. Today is Saturday. It's Saturday morning. Woke up not that long ago. I'm going to take a chunk of time to try to make another dent into the prospects. I don't know what else my day will hold. I need to make more progress on my book journal, and I need to figure out a way to like, I think I need to use like a Pomodoro timer or something because I really need to make some significant progress. And I found myself doing it and drifting away and doing it and drifting away. And I would like to be a little bit more deliberate and see if I can get an even bigger chunk caught up. So, yeah, I want to try to utilize my time off productively. But I will come back to you when I probably won't give you another update on the prospects unless something like really dramatic happens. But I'll come back to you when I finish that or when I have started the next thing. Hi. Okay, so I finished The Prospects by K.T. Hoffman, and feel like I feel like earlier when I was like I'm bored and I was like whiny about it. I think that was a little bit overdone. To me, this is a very solid like 3-star, 3.5-star book. Like for me, it was good. I wanted it to be a little swoonier, I think. I don't know. We have really interesting main characters here who who are very like well-rounded. Like they're very like full people. Jean in particular is, short and trans and loves baseball and like tries not to want too much, and like his like hope versus wanting, I found that to be very interesting throughout. But I also like kind of wanted him to want something, right? I feel like when your character wants something, that brings tension and stakes. And he worked so hard to not allow himself to want things that like it felt like he was just kind of like rolling along with it sometimes. And we have Luis, who is like skinny and hot but anxious as all get out, and who is questioning like what he wants like from a career. Like he's good at baseball, but is that what he really wants, right? And I felt like the two of them were very well rounded, but like there were certain elements of the book that just didn't quite mesh for me. I think like I didn't really understand the whole problem with Jean and Vince. Like the two of them were such good friends early on, and then they have like one fight and it makes them basically not talk for half of the book. And then the resolution of that is sort of just this like, hey man, like I was upset, so sorry. And the other one's like, okay, cool, friends. And it was just it felt weird to me. I was like, why can we not have this like friendship be present, or like why was there this fight that was necessary? I don't know, it just felt, that part felt kind of like weird to me. And I don't know. And like also I'm glad that also there's a lot of baseball. There's a lot of baseball in this book. I mean, I think there's definitely been other times when I've read a sports romance and said, where's the sport? Perfect example is the the ice skating one from Mariana Zapata or whatever her name is. Like they were like, yeah, we're both ice skaters, we're professionals, and there's no ice skating on page. We talked about how we did a practice. You don't get to see any time of practice. We talked about things that we did on ice. Never get to see anything on ice. I was annoyed with the amount of or the lack of ice skating in that book, but in this book it was like 55% baseball and 45% romance. I mean, which makes sense because Gene has a lot going on where one of the things he doesn't allow himself to want is to ever like be signed and go to the majors. Like obviously it's a dream, but also he has resigned himself to the idea that it'll never happen for himself. So he doesn't even allow himself to want it so he can never get disappointed. And he spends so much of this book focused on how he's doing in baseball. Both he loves baseball, his family comes from baseball, Luis plays baseball, his job is baseball, his dream is baseball. Like I get it. But it's a lot of fucking baseball for me as someone who doesn't care about baseball. So I felt like it was, a huge element of this book was like, is he going to get signed? Is Luis going to get signed? Is someone going to get called up to the major leagues? And there was a lot of like baseball talk, and I think that it was fun, but it just got tedious for me where I was just like, okay, cool, you won, you lost, I don't care. So I don't know. For me, it was like good. I wanted more emotional development for the couple and the romance. I liked the two of them together. I liked the anxiety representation, the queer representation, trans representation, the like acceptance that they find from other people. But I don't know. It just overall kind of didn't work for me, and it felt like the pacing took forever. Like I felt like it took me forever to read pages in this book. So I'm going to just leave that all there. I don't have my computer up in front of me, but I know that will satisfy whatever tarot card it is that I will put right here that is the card to read a debut book, because this is KT Hoffman's debut novel. And there you go. Now it will be time for me to choose another card so I can kind of have two going at the same time. The date is Saturday, July 27th at the time of me filming this. So I have still the second half of today as well as 4 more days of the month. And I definitely think I can finish another book or 2 or 3. So I'm going to pull a couple more tarot cards, and that'll be inserted right here. Hi, hello. So I just submitted the prospects for the Ace of Swords prompt and got points for that. It was 384 minor arcana points, and it also counted for major arcana because it is one of our significator. Our significator card is to read a romance, and this fits. So it's time to pull another card. I just finished shuffling my deck, so time to cut, and let's draw. Ooh, the High Priestess. The High Priestess. The High Priestess is to read a book with a mystery element. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Not sure what I'm going to do for that, so I'll have to give it a good think. Hello, it is Sunday morning. I am up earlier than I intended to be. So why not make the most of it? I did not give you another update yesterday evening because I didn't read anything yesterday evening. I still had a productive day, was working on book journal, I had lunch with Ben, I was editing a video, I, took time to relax, all great things. But I realized when I couldn't sleep and I didn't want to sleep anymore that I should just get up and make the most of this. So I did pull a tarot card. Was that only yesterday? The High Priestess, which was to read a book with a mystery element, and I was kind of not interested in that prompt when I read it because I was like, I don't really want to read a mystery right now. But I very recently, I don't even remember. I really wish if I could change something. A lot of people have a lot of complaints about Goodreads, right? Something that I wish that was very easy to do when you add a book to your want to read list. I wish there was a way to say, like, right there, where you heard that recommendation from, or like where you've heard this from. Because I just got this recommendation somehow, just add this to my list, and I think I'm just going to give it a shot right now. This is Inside Affair by Ella Frank, and it is a male contemporary romance with a mystery element, maybe. As far as I can tell from the blurb, it sounds like there is a one character who is the number one primetime news anchor in the country who is maybe having a stalker and who asks his best friend's older brother, who is a detective in the police, whatever, to help him out, and that guy becomes his fake boyfriend in an attempt to be his like bodyguard and give him protection, and I guess maybe figure out who the stalker is or whatever. So I'm hopeful that this actually does have a mystery element. It's pretty short at 239 pages. It's instantly available under Kindle Unlimited. So I've decided I'm just going to try to read as much of that as I can today. I think I probably could knock this out today. Ben and I have a little date planned, and otherwise my schedule's pretty wide open. So I'm hopeful that I can make a really good dent in this book today and probably finish it. So that's my plan. That's hopefully going to satisfy the mystery element, and I will come back to you when I have started this or have something to say about it. Hi, okay, so I am 50% of the way into Inside Affair. I actually did remember how this book got on my Kindle Unlimited TBR. So I was actually recently just looking through romances that I've read before, and this author, I read multiple books by her long ago before BookTube. And so I saw those other books on that list and was like, oh yeah, I remember these. And so that's how I got on that author's page and was like, I'll read something else by this person. So yeah, so far I'm at 50%, and like I'm not really feeling any particular way about it. It's reading easily and quickly. There's not really a mystery element other than the fact that there's a stalker and they don't know who it is. It's basically the blurb and what I've already said. We're following Xander. He's a big time news producer, primetime news producer. He gets some threats that are clearly an indication that somebody is like watching him and knows where he gets his coffee in the mornings, and knows his home address, and they're basically like, you are meant to be mine. No one else should be able to have you or whatever. And so his job is like, okay, well, you need like some security. You need a bodyguard. So he goes to his friend's older brother, who's a police detective. Sean is a police detective, and Sean is like, oh, if you're being threatened, like I could protect you. Like I could be your bodyguard. Like I know, yeah, I could give you the names of other people, but like none of them would take it as seriously or do as good a job as me. And Xander's like, you, but like we've never got along. And Sean's like, yeah, but I don't really care about that. Like I can protect you. And Sean very conveniently has just taken leave from work, so it all works out. So yeah, so at this point, Xander is like kind of reluctant, but is like, okay, yeah, I know, like I trust Sean, even though I don't like him, and Sean basically has come to stay at Xander's house because he is pretending to be Xander's full time boyfriend, and that could explain his presence and why he would be around Xander 24/7, because Xander's like, well, I don't want anybody to like know that I need a bodyguard. So yeah, at this point, it's been like perfectly fine. They have had some opportunities to be together, like at Xander's job, and Xander was like, oh, we're gonna give you a makeover, and so he takes Sean shopping, and the two of them have never really gotten along that well. They kind of constantly get on the other person's nerves. So there's definitely been a number of moments where one person says something and the other one's like, God, you're so annoying. But there's also been like a couple different moments between both of them. Sean is very straight, which is why Xander was like, "Yeah, this is never gonna work." But Sean's like, "Yeah, no big deal. I'll just like play the part. Like I've gone undercover before, so how is this gonna be any different?" And both of them have had moments where they're both like, "Oh, he's cute. That was weird. What was that?" But yeah, otherwise, it's really nothing has like super happened other than they're just trying to figure out like how to coexist essentially. Um, I have a feeling because it's reading so fast, I'm already halfway through, that this is gonna have like a cliffhanger, no ending, multiple books to continue this series. But I'm really hopeful for at least a kiss in this book. I also saw on Goodreads that the tags were like gay for you, and I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like that's not always a trope that like is great. But yeah, so far I don't really have a ton to say about it other than it's an easy read. It's tripping right along, and I'm enjoying it for what it is. And I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to end on a cliffhanger, and that's where my vlog is going to end, on a cliffhanger. So you know, you've been warned. Hello, I am here to finish out my vlog because I have finished the last book. This is a book that I squeezed in here just on today on Sunday, but yes, I have finished Inside Affair by Ella Frank. It is a very quick book, I think under 250 pages, and it read very fast. And yeah, it does end on a cliffhanger. The Our two main characters are trying to figure out how they feel romantically throughout the course of the book as feelings develop, and the fake relationship might not be so fake after all. Surprise, 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 surprising nobody. And yeah, there's a little bit of drama at the end, and I thought it was entertaining and easy to read. I don't want to give anything away plot wise, but it was so quick and easy to read, and I liked these characters so much that I am very strongly considering just diving right into the next book. And yeah, that was fun. I guess it wasn't really that much of a mystery other than the fact of who is the person who is stalking Xander, which I guess they don't know who that is or where they might be or what their motives are, that kind of thing. Um, I'm going to count it because mystery is one of the things that is listed on Goodreads as the category. I would maybe put this a little bit more in the romantic suspense category just because it's sort of suspenseful, vaguely thriller y. But yeah, so that will satisfy my prompt and card of the High Priestess. Now, I have other things to choose from. I have other books that I have going. Because it's only Sunday, I might just go ahead and pull another card and keep on going. So that's going to wrap up this week's vlog for me. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all those things. Leave me a comment down below if you have a good mystery romance kind of book. Or if you have just a good straight mystery. I do actually have The Night Swim checked out from the library, and it's something that I'm going to be reading in the next couple of weeks for a book club. But yeah, if you've read a romance with a good mystery, let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.